Alright folks, we're back here at Canyon Lanes in Morongo for the title matches of today's Junior Bowlers Tour tournament. Hugelmaier is looking to win back-to-back titles on the weekend. The two-hander with all the power in the world lets it rip and has enough power to tilt out that 10-pin. He's climbed the ladder to get to this point, and he's playing the same bowler he played yesterday, so it's a deja vu all over again in the scratch division. It's Cameron Smith still trying to win title number 19. Try to beat Mark today. Over in the handicap division, speaking of deja vu, it's Mark Hugelmaier again. He's looking to win his second consecutive title. I don't know the last time we've had both bowlers win back-to-back on the same weekend, so we'll see if we can make a little history here at Canyon today. Cameron playing that deep and tight inside line. That's one of his bread and butter shots. He loves playing there. Frustrated right there by that 4-pin. Mark has the front 4 against him, while Cameron's going to go strike spare if he converts that 4-pin. Hugelmaier's opponent, Torrence, looking for his first career JBT title. Yeah, trips a little 4-pin there. He's giving 7 pins. He's got to beat Mark, other way around. He's getting 7 pins. Mark has to beat him by 8, so that was a big shot for him. That gives him 3 in a row to open the title match. Meanwhile, Mark went spare strike open, so big early lead for Torrence and big early deficit for Smith. 4 Californians here going at it. Smith from San Diego area, Mark from Anaheim. Torrence from Torrance, but a different spelling. That's confused me over the years. Cameron rips the rack there, stays perfect on the left-hand lane, and wow. And Eric comes in just a little light, but the ball rolls out on him, leaves an ugly little 8-10. No drive left on that ball. It just hit like a puffed marshmallow, as they say somewhere in Texas, I'm sure. Well, we had a 4-6-7 converted in the title match yesterday. Not that any of you would know about it. Let's see if we can have a 8-10 converted in the title match. Well, we got a field goal instead here on Super Bowl Sunday, as we're in the second quarter of a Packers blowout right now as well. Myers shreds another rack there, making 5 in a row to open it up. It's a modern bowling game on a pattern that has a lot of friction. You just get in as far left as you can, rip the cover off it with both of your hands these days, and watch those pins fly. Mark one of a crop of two-handers. It's a up-and-coming popular style. Really, a two-handed bowler is really a one-handed bowler. It's just that that other hand not in the ball stays on the hand a lot longer than is conventional. There's no thumb in the ball. Watch the hand stand up for balance. Now it's off. Now it's just like a thumbless shot. A little light, doesn't trip the 4 there. Good run, starts off 5 in a row. Mark always his harshest critic. If he does anything other than strike, he's usually upset with himself. Aren't we all, I guess. Hugelmaier, meanwhile, got a spare there, converting that 7-pin. Cameron, Mark, no trouble with the 4. Big early lead. Smith's going to have to double on this right-hand lane here to keep himself in the match. Hugelmaier struggled in his early JBT career, then put it all together yesterday with the Survivor Tournament win, and then just lapped the field today. His shot looked pretty good on the left, and he was obviously comfortable going over 400 up. That's big numbers. Hard to win back-to-back because we do re-rate the averages overnight. Mark lost about 12 pins of handicap overnight, and he's going to lose a lot more over tonight when we re-rate him after adding in 400 up. Trails in this match, though, like we said, has to get it together here, and that's right. Oh, but it holds. There you go, a little bit of hold for him. He'll take it. Smith has to have this double, like we said. And he does. There's an awful lot of friction on the lane just about everywhere except deep inside. So even though they're playing deep, they're not trying to circle the entire lane. They want to start deep and keep it in all, just kind of do a fade back to the pocket. And Eric, again, with that ball rolling out on him, isn't able to carry. Eric with a lot of rotation on that ball. He's getting it into the dry just a bit early, and the ball finishes all of its rotation, and a little bit DOA for there. He's going to have to make a slight adjustment. Cameron, meanwhile, is deep to keep the ball in what's left of the oil. That retains the energy. That's why he's carrying better. And there you go. 3 in a row for Smith. Right back in this match. There's no quit in either of these guys. Never quitting an 18-time champion. Mark became a 5-time champion yesterday. 5 wins, sort of the benchmark of greatness on our tour. winning even once is really, really hard in our tournaments. Winning 5 times means you've really established yourself as a big-time name at our level. But right there, a high hit doesn't break up the split, and that 6-7 means we have a less than 10-pin match if Myers doesn't convert it. Let's see if Torrence can make a little move here to get back to the carry. There you go. Even though he's covering a few more boards, got that ball in later, and that allowed him to carry out all 10 pins. Eric's been bowling with us for a while. He'd love to capture title number 1 here today. Mark, one of the relatively few lefties in the field, so he had to make less adjustments. The oils lasted a little longer in his side of the lanes. Usually on house shot tournaments, it's going to be advantage lefties, and that proved to be the case here, as we didn't really intend to have a house shot today. As he flushes 10 in the pit again. Just seems that there's so much friction at this bowling center naturally that whatever you lay out, it's going to break down into a high friction environment to the right, and what's left of the oil to the left. But high again, and wow, that's a big break. Well, good news, bad news for Mark is that's a huge break breaking up the split, but bad news is obviously by his body language he thought that was a good shot. He's surprised he left that right there. It's getting late, and he's going to have to finish on that lane too, so he's going to have to figure out whether it was him that threw a bad shot or whether it was the lanes changing on him and make the correct educated guess in the 10th frame. And bang, 3 in a row for Hugelmaier, gets him right back in the match. So we're going to be down to the bitter end here in both divisions, it looks like. That's the way we like it. Big thanks to Felix Chak Cho Farm and Joey Cho and that whole crew there for sponsoring this event. That made it $300 for first place in each division. Great turnout. Thanks to everybody who spread the word about our tour as well. Want to build that momentum. Good stuff here. Super Bowl week at beautiful Canyon Lanes. Strike working for Torrence. Oh yeah, a well-timed Brooklyn for Eric there. My goodness. Smith working on 3 in a row. Take the lead with this strike here. Oh boy, he needed that to hold the whole way. You saw him trying to beg that ball to push. It did not. Disappointing result for Cameron. It's a 4-7-9. You see the frustration there. That was for the lead, and if he misses this, he's going to be down about just about 20. Meanwhile, Eric wants to capitalize on that Brooklyn here. He's shooting in the 8th frame with a double working now. It's wide, and it's all the way back. Just enough energy to knock that 5-7 out. Cameron at the 4-7-9. Does not have it. That gives Cameron 165 through 8. And he's going to trail by 21 pins with 2 frames to go. Meanwhile, Hugelmaier with a big shot here. He's got 3 in a row working in the 8th frame. Again, giving 7 to Torrence. Yes, sir. Well, one of those deep inside 8 pins. That wasn't a solid 8. That was just a kind of a half 8. It was one of those weird hits in modern bowling from those funny angle lines that you play late in tournaments. That's not what he needed right there. The best he can do is 215. Right now, Myers going at a 226 pace, so he's going to need help from Myers to win this match. Meanwhile, what a great weekend here for Mark. He's just been a different bowler than we've seen in previous JBT attempts. Much more confident, throwing the ball good, and here it is for 5 in a row. He loves it, and absolutely. Bang, 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 bang. 5 in a row, dead flush for Hugelmaier, and he's in the lead in that game. But Torrence says, time to say something about it, and Myers is 1 shot away from climbing the ladder. Now, think about that for Mark. Mark, who earlier in his career had trouble in match play, 1 survivor yesterday, so that means he went 7-0. If he climbs the ladder here, that's another 4-0. So he's got at least 11 wins in match play in JBT this weekend alone. And there's an ill-timed 6 count from Eric, my goodness. That ball just leaked right in the same old rollout for him. Mark can win with any kind of mark. Boy, oh boy, and that was not the shot he wanted there. He's just totally lost on lane 3. I don't think he thought that was that bad, and he will be thrilled to get out of here with this spare and the title. If he misses it, Cameron can double and get a high count to win. Eric needs this spare over here to stay alive in his match. Look out. Oh boy, hooks by it. Yes, and there it is. So we are a few frames from potential history here. The first time in forever, if not ever, we've had back-to-back winners in both divisions in a weekend. So it'll be Mark times 4. If not quite done yet here, Eric can max out here for 218 scratch. Hugelmaier working at a 220 pace scratch. So if he strikes out, I believe Mark will need to mark. There's the first one. All these marks needing to mark to win. Very confusing. A little bit of loft here for Myers. He'll take in for Cameron boy. You know, second on paper sounds really, really good, but when you're a competitive bowler like Cameron obviously is, that's just frustrating as all heck. Tournament director Jared completely focused on the event. Oh, and that might do it for Torrence. Uh-oh. Well, Cameron Smith a fine weekend, but Mark Myers a dominant weekend. Eric Torrence a fine day, but Mark Hugelmaier dominant in every way today. They are going to be our champs. Number 6 for Myers, and what a weekend for Myers. That's $600 in first place money, $50 from EFX bracelet money. Show that bracelet off, they'll be very happy. There we go. Those sponsors happy. And a $600 payday for Hugelmaier as well. My goodness. Giving out the money here in JBT. They are earning the money here in JBT. Well, let's see what that 6 does, just to be sure here. Ah, boy. 200, so he's got 206 if he misses them all. If he gets 3, he's got 209, which would not be enough. So he's got to spare this, yeah. He may have talked prematurely. That 6 count was unexpected. He was throwing the ball so well, I didn't expect anything less than a good pocket shot here. Again, he's got to win by 7. So he only wins by 1 if he gets 3. You must spare this up and still get count. My goodness, and this is choppable in a couple different ways. 1, 2, 4, 8. He's got to not come in that high and leave that 4. Wow, boy. Woo. Bowling matches can change so quickly, and he was just nut 5-bagger, and then that 6 came out of nowhere to make it interesting again. And I believe he needs 2. Jared, champs will get engraved plaques later. Good enough for Hugelmaier. 223 back-to-back marks. Each with marks in the 10th to do it. Keep watching these videos, folks. Congrats to both of those bowlers. Hats off to Eric and Cameron as well. We'll talk to you again soon. Look at that.